how's it going, everyone? Hope your 900, if you have one, is treating you better than mine treated me a couple weeks back. Long story short, I went to take the car up to get some gas after we finished the manual swap because the car doesn't like to accept gas. I didn't know at the time whether that was because my fuel gauge didn't work, which it doesn't work, or if there's a separate issue, but I wanted to try and top it off the best I could. So I took it up to the gas station about 2-3 miles away. And after I got it to fill up, I went ahead and tried to start it. It wouldn't start because I know, and this happened a couple times before on this car, after I drive it for a while or after it's running for a while, and it seems to do this very intermittently. If I shut it off, go get gas or do something quick and then try and start it like 5 or 10 minutes later, the car doesn't start. I don't know, I guess you would call it a hot start issue. So if anyone has any suggestions on that, let me know. But basically that's what happened here. So I figure, okay, let's go look under the hood. I came around to the front of the car and there was coolant all over the I guess you could say the driveway of the gas station. So at that point I'm like, well, great, now I have another problem. I know that both these issues are unrelated because it's done the hot start issue outside of the coolant leaking out, and the coolant wasn't even low. So what I'm gonna do now is roll the video that I took. It's kind of a little bit scattered, but I guess you guys could see me in my 900 basically stranding me at the gas station. Came up here to get some gas for the car and noticed it wouldn't start. So I came out here and we've got coolant everywhere. I think this clamp right here is loose. It might have just been something we completely overlooked. So I'm hoping that's it, but the car not starting is a bit more concerning right now, not even cranking. But that clamp is definitely loose and almost looks like the hose isn't on there the whole way, but you can see pretty clearly it's still dripping coolant out. All right, I'm gonna try starting it again. Nothing. So yeah, this clamp right here was not fully connected, and as a result, coolant started kind of just coming out of it. The funny thing is we actually drove the car on a pretty hot day the first time the manual swap was done, and we were driving it decently hard for probably about 45 minutes and it didn't leak any coolant. But now I go to take it up to the gas station a couple days after that and it pisses coolant everywhere. So I think what happened, because I tried to tighten the clamp at the gas station and it would not tighten. The clamp was just frozen, seized. So I think whoever put this hose on, we just figured it was tight when it actually wasn't tight. But yeah, so basically was able to limp the car home. After about an hour of sitting there, it finally started up, and then it was fine after that. I just limped it home a couple miles and started looking more under the hood here, and I noticed you can't see too well right now because the car isn't hot, but I'll put some pictures on the screen of what it looks like when the car is hot. This hose and this hose in particular gets very, very swollen when the car is actually at operating temperature. So this old 35-year-old rubber is probably ready to give soon. So I figured I might as well just order some new hoses here. And obviously at the same time, I replaced this clamp with a new one. Oddly enough, I've learned that Rock Auto carries a lot of parts for these 900s, more so than I think Saab parts might. They're usually my go-to for anything Saab. But these were on Rock Auto. Unfortunately, they only had the really cheap ones available. I think I paid like $10 excluding shipping for both of these hoses, which a little bit sketchy, but it's a Euro parts brand. Haven't really used any of their parts before. I'm sure it'll be fine though. So I guess what we're gonna do today is just replace these hoses, and been wanting to do this for a while, ever since this happened. We might also replace these other 3 clamps after I inspect them and see what kind of condition they're in. I think my best course of action, because I don't really want to drain the whole cooling system, is to pull this hose off here. That way if I pull this one off, it's going to drip all over the transmission and exhaust and all that. I don't want that. I'm going to pull these 2 off. can kind of get an idea for how swollen they were just based off of this right here. Again, it looked a lot worse when the car was up to temperature and hot. Another thing is these hoses are way too long, so we're gonna have to cut both of these down. That one's not as bad actually. This one I don't think we'll have to cut down. That was a little bit more tedious than I wanted it to be, but it worked. Wish they wouldn't make these stupid stickers with such strong adhesive. Actually, that one came off a lot easier than the other one did. You can see all the crud falling out of these hose clamps. If I have enough hose clamps in this size, I'm gonna just replace them all. This is just like the, kind of looks like the 900s version of a coolant tee. You can probably see how dirty and just corroded this thing is. I don't have a wire brush, which I think would be best for this, but I will try this other brush I have with some simple green. Let's see if we can clean it up a bit. It definitely looks a lot better. I think I really need a wire brush or something to really clean this up the rest of the way. I did get a lot of the big chunks off, so I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna run some water on the inside now because there's a bunch of crap in there too. And yeah, better than it was before. I actually don't have any more hose clamps in this size either, unfortunately. So we're just gonna roll with these. They seem fine, but I guess we'll know for sure when we try and tighten them down. Now that I've got everything hooked back up, I'm gonna take pressure out of the system, even though there wasn't really pressure in the system to begin with. And let's start the car and let it run. You can see it pretty quickly is sucking down coolant. Again, this was all the top of the system that leaked out. Because I don't have my gauge cluster plugged in currently, I also can't tell what the temperature is on the car. So I think what I'm going to do is clean all this up and top it off as needed, and I'm sure it'll be fine because it really didn't lose a ton of coolant. So I'll probably clean this out a little bit and then dump this back in because it is still brand new coolant. And then, oh boy, this is going to be fun to clean up. So do that off camera. Thank you guys all so much for watching though. Hopefully I'll have this speedo issue sorted out soon and this gas gauge issue, because as you can see, I've been doing a lot of experimenting, taking things apart, breaking things. So yeah, I'll see you all next time.
Take it easy.